My name is Kevin Nix, and welcome back to NASCAR Mailbox. I am doing NASCAR Mailbox today in place of Jared Haas, who is out on family business. You guys sent me some good questions following the very entertaining Cup race at Atlanta, so I've picked two of them to respond to in this segment here today. The first question is from Alex B53, and he posed, since Brad has dominated Atlanta this weekend, do you think that this will boost his confidence in the upcoming races? My answer is yes. And I'm actually going to go a step further. I think we're going to see Keselowski win a race before the playoffs begin. And there's two dates that I have circled on the calendar here. The first one is Watkins Glen. So obviously everyone remembers his amazing battle with Marcus Ambrose in 2012, but also the race that saw a lot of attrition in 2016 at Watkins Glen. Brad Keselowski took home the win that day as well. So Keselowski is a very accomplished road racer, and RFK Racing definitely appears to be on the upswing. Obviously, Chris Buescher flat out won the race of Bristol last year in a non-fluky way. If the playoffs were to begin today, both Keselowski and his teammate Chris Buescher would be in on points. So the team is racing with a lot of confidence. I would circle Watkins Glen in particular for Brad Keselowski. And of course, the wild card race at Daytona, which, as we saw last year, anything can happen. So, like I said, Alex, I think Brad is going to race these last couple months before the playoffs with a lot of confidence, and I think we will see him win. We will see him break his long winless streak before the playoffs begin. And then the second question was posed from Flags and Whistles, and he said, would NASCAR consider more night races in the future after this weekend? My answer again here is going to be yes. So, in particular, I think NASCAR should consider more Sunday night races. The viewership numbers just came out earlier today from the race at Atlanta, and we saw about 2.5 million views, which is about flat from the race last year, which was run in the afternoon. So obviously we saw Nashville a few weeks ago, which was run on Sunday night. That race had really great viewership. And then obviously this past week at Atlanta, I would imagine the street course has something to do with that, the Chicago street course definitely might have put more international eyes on the sport this past week at Atlanta. But I think there is a market for Sunday night races, especially in the first two-thirds of the season. Obviously, NASCAR and NBC is not going to be able to compete with Sunday Night Football, which is one of the biggest events in the country each weekend, but they could easily add like 3, 4 more races on Sunday nights at the beginning of the season. Like we saw, again, Bristol Dirt, we saw Nashville, Atlanta. I don't think there's any others. I don't think there's any other races on Sunday night until the playoffs, but even before the season, even before next season, I'm sure NASCAR is looking at other races. They're looking at other tracks where they could potentially return to race at Sunday night. So I think we will see a surge in Sunday night racing after this season. It is shown that that market is here to stay. It is a pretty surprising market. It's not one that it's not one that they've really tapped into lately or before this year. So I'm sure the numbers that they've received are very positive and very surprising. So we should definitely see more Sunday night racing in the future. That is something that I would look out for. Again, thank you all for tuning in to me on this edition of NASCAR Mailbox, and Jared Haas will resume his scheduled duties of NASCAR Mailbox next week. See you next time.
This is Harrison Burton, driver the number 21. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check out one of these two videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.